Alright, so welcome everyone. बहुत बहुत स्वागत आप सभी का. Welcome back to Panchkuta Law classes. In this series, we are covering daily newspaper in just 5 minutes. So today we are covering 22nd of May. Let's quickly begin with the first news. The first major international story today is that this India-Africa summit has been postponed because of the Ebola outbreak in parts of Africa. The summit was supposed to take place in New Delhi from May 28 to 31 after a gap of nearly 11 years. The Ministry of External Affairs and the African Union jointly announced the postponement, citing the evolving public health situation in Africa. So now let's understand Ebola. Ebola virus disease is a highly dangerous viral hemorrhagic fever with a very high fatality rate. It was first discovered in the year 1976 near the Ebola River in present-day Democratic Republic of Congo, from where it gets its name. Virus spreads through direct contact with bodily fluids, infected animals, contaminated surfaces, and close human interaction. Symptoms include high fever, internal bleeding, vomiting, weakness, and organ failure. The disease has historically caused major outbreaks in Central and West Africa. The World Health Organization has now declared the current outbreak in countries like Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda as a public health emergency of international concern, also known as PHEIC. So we have to remember this term for our exam. PHEIC is the highest level of global health alert issued by WHO. Why is this important for India? Because India-Africa relations are strategically very important for trade, energy security, pharmaceuticals, diplomacy, and global South cooperation as well. India also has strong development partnerships with African nations in healthcare, digital infrastructure, education, and defense cooperation. The postponement is therefore being viewed as a temporary diplomatic setback, although both sides have said that the summit will happen once the health emergency stabilizes. Also remember, the last India-Africa Forum Summit was in 2015 and it was also affected by an Ebola outbreak. The bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant, said courts can proceed with trials and appeals on merits if the accused agrees. Now remember, the old Sedition Law under IPC has technically been replaced in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, but critics argue the new Section 152 is essentially a repackaged version of sedition itself. The issue is extremely important for CLAT because it involves freedom of speech, state security, constitutional morality, and criminal law reforms. Another important Supreme Court observation today came in a chit fund scam case. The accused wanted multiple FIRs from different states to be merged into one case for convenience, but the court strongly rejected the plea. The Chief Justice remarked that Indian criminal law has remained too accused-centric, while victims are often ignored. The court highlighted how poor investors from remote villages who have been cheated here cannot be expected to travel across India for justice. This is an important shift towards victim-centric jurisprudence, access to justice, and balancing procedural fairness with victim rights. Very important for legal reasoning and jurisprudence discussions for our exam. Now this is an editorial which is absolutely a must read for everyone. A major opinion piece today discusses whether Ladakh needs more districts or a proper legislature with constitutional safeguards. The union government argues that Ladakh's small population, strategic sensitivity, and financial dependence makes a legislature unnecessary. Instead, it recently announced 5 new districts, but critics argue that administrative decentralization cannot replace democratic representation. The article compares Ladakh with Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Sikkim, all of which received legislatures despite small populations and strategic importance. This article also discusses 6th schedule protections, federalism, frontier governance, and political autonomy. This is a highly important topic for CLAT polity and constitutional law. It's a must read for everyone. Now here's another editorial which is very important for us. Online gaming ban may be backfiring is what the editorial talks about. An important policy debate today relates to the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act 2025. The law aimed to protect people from harmful online betting and gambling. But studies now suggest the opposite may be happening. Users are shifting from regulated Indian platforms to illegal offshore gambling websites using VPNs, Telegram, mirror sites, and encrypted platforms. Experts warn that this may increase cybercrime, money laundering, terror financing, and fraud as well. The article argues that strong regulation may work better than outright bans. Examples include UAE, Sri Lanka, and Western countries which have showed how regulated frameworks with safeguards may be more effective. This topic is important because it combines technology law, cybercrime, public policy, and digital governance. Finally, the United Nations has criticized the Taliban government in Afghanistan for a new decree related to marriage and separation laws. The United Nations says that the law reinforces systematic discrimination against women and girls. The decree reportedly permits child marriage under certain conditions, gives men greater power in separation proceedings, and reduces women autonomy. Since returning to power in 2021, the Taliban has already restricted girls' education, banned women from many jobs, and imposed strict social controls. The United Nations says these measures violate basic human rights and access to justice. This story is important for international law, women's rights, human rights, and global governance. So guys, these were the important news from today's newspaper. I hope you all have already subscribed to our channel. अगर अभी तक नहीं किया, फटाफट से press that like button, subscribe to our channel, and in case you have any query, please feel free to reach out in the comments of the video. Thank you so much. We'll meet again tomorrow.